Welcome back to Chiefs Live, presented by your Midwest Ford dealers. An exciting day in Chiefs history. Chiefs Chairman and CEO Clark Hunt joins us. And Clark, January 9th, 2012 will go down as Romeo Crennel named the 12th head coach in Kansas City Chiefs history. Very exciting day today.
Yeah, it sure is. We're delighted to be able to name Romeo as our coach today. He did a tremendous job for us at the tail end of the season, and I'm excited on behalf of the organization and our fans to have him leading the team into 2012.
For our fans that are watching, Clark, take us through your involvement in this search process as an owner, and how involved were you in the interview process and conversating with Scott on finding the right hires? We heard in the press conference more than a half dozen candidates were interviewed in this process before you ultimately chose Coach Crennel.
Yeah, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did when we made the change with our head coach 4 weeks ago was be as thorough as possible. That was one of the advantages of getting an early start on it. We were able to interview some people before the end of the season, interview our last candidates this past week, and ultimately make the decision on Romeo. Scott leads that process, and I'm involved with him in all the interviews. And it's a great chance to learn a lot about your football team, talking to a lot of smart people who know the game of pro football and hear what they think about your roster and your prospects as you go into 2012. And at the end of the day, it was clear to us that Romeo was the right man for the job.
We heard Scott say in that press conference that the final 3 games did have a large impact on his hiring. He talked about accountability, the change in energy, and overall leadership. At what point were you sold as Romeo Crennel being this new head coach of this team?
Well, clearly Romeo had an opportunity that no one else had, which was to coach the team for 3 weeks and show us what he could do. And he really did a terrific job. He came in and stabilized the team, led us to the great victory over the Green Bay Packers, and then finished up the season on a strong note, beating the Denver Broncos. That clearly said a lot for his capability as a head coach, but probably the thing that pushed it across the finish line for me was the interview with him. Something that came through in that interview was how competitive Romeo is. He's naturally somewhat of a laid-back person, so you don't necessarily see that. But in talking to him, it's clearly very important for him to win. He's very proud of those 5 Super Bowls that he's been part of winning. And he told us in the interview that his goal is now to win a Super Bowl as the head coach.
Since you've become the chairman of this football team, consistency has been a term that's rung true with you. And so I guess I'd ask you, with Romeo Crennel, what qualities does he bring that he can consistently compete for championships as the head coach of this team?
Well, first of all, Romeo is a tremendous football coach, and I think you can see that looking at his career. Almost everywhere he's been, they've had success. Most of that's been on the defensive side of the ball, where he's been a defensive coordinator or a defensive line coach or a special teams coach. He's very strong on fundamentals, and I think you saw that in the last 3 weeks of the season with the Chiefs, is fundamentally we were a sound football team. That tends to lead to consistency. He also brings a tremendous passion and energy that the football players feed off of, and I think you saw that. He's a great leader, and that they wanted to play their best for him. And I think for all those reasons, he's going to make an outstanding coach.
One of the things that you said that struck me in the press conference is you like the foundation of this franchise moving forward. And so what are your goals for the 2012 season, big picture, and I guess beyond as well?
Yeah, well, the goal every year is to improve. We were disappointed not to make the playoffs this year. Coming off of the division championship in 2010, we wanted to get back to the playoffs, and we came very close, a blocked field goal away from making the playoffs. Clearly, as we go into 2012, we want to get better. And we not only want to be able to make the playoffs in 2012, but hopefully have a chance to advance in the playoffs. That's really the next step for this organization, ultimately leading to our goal of winning a championship.
Clark, on a very exciting day, we want to thank you so much for joining us on Chiefs Live. And Chiefs fans, when we come back, you'll hear from Mitch Holthus and the general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs, Scott Pioli.